Planet Zoo 2 was officially announced last week with a release date of October 13, 2026. In typical Frontier style, the trailer was packed full of eye-catching goodies, teasing us with new features, new creatures, and new modes. So let's break down the top 5 things we know are coming to the game, starting with awe-inspiring animals, land, water, and air. One of the most exciting pieces of this reveal is the addition of aquatic creatures and birds alongside the usual cast of land animals, and, by extension, new habitats and enclosure types. The community has waited forever to make these massive water exhibits, and my word, do they look amazing. The trailer alone features a diverse range of assets to help people create their own massive freshwater or saltwater aquariums. There's no confirmed list of aquatic creatures yet. The website lists blacktip reef sharks and hawksbill turtles as part of the underwater experience. We saw the majestic ocean fish and turtles in the trailer, and the deluxe edition shows hammerhead sharks, blue and gold fusiliers, and long-fin batfish. Not only that, but we can now take to the skies with fully customizable and dynamic aviaries, utilizing barriers, support poles, and mesh covers to create the idyllic home for our feathery friends like the Toko toucan, the golden eagle, and the secretary bird. It seems these birds won't just fly around or hang in trees either. We've seen them hop on the ground right by guests, meaning not only dynamic behaviors, but also an aviary management of both the ground and the air will be necessary to meet your bird's needs. How aquariums and aviaries will work has yet to be revealed, but the hope is that it'll be fairly intuitive. Aquariums should be constructed to accommodate both above and below ground exhibits with incredible creative potential. For aviaries, I imagine the tentpole structures provide limited net coverage with spacing coordinated within the exhibit to achieve full enclosure. Regardless, both are very exciting developments in the creation of Planet Zoo parks. The real question is, what creatures are you hoping to see in the game? Let me know in the comments down below. We're still tied to creatures in a way, but let's now dive into graphic fidelity. Planet Zoo gets an upgrade. One of the immediate eye-grabbing concepts from the reveal is graphic fidelity, regarding, well, the entire game in all areas. In the images on the screen, you can see snippets of animals from the first Planet Zoo trailer, alongside their higher resolution counterparts from Planet Zoo 2. The upgrades are substantial, and while I've never really considered Planet Zoo to be graphically inferior, you can see the difference 6 years of development have made in bringing the game up to par with modern graphic standards. Animals have finer details in their fur. The leathery skin of the crocs is so defined. The turtle shells are so textured. Chimps are much more realistic, and the birds look stunning. It's not just the creatures either, from the environmental elements of trees, water, and rocks to building assets, pathways, platforms, and the guests themselves. We're looking at a sharpness and refinement that simply wasn't there for Planet Zoo. What I think we are seeing here is a crossover and shared knowledge from graphical upgrades in both Jurassic World Evolution 3 and Planet Coaster 2, with the former lending a hand to creatures and environments, and the latter bringing park assets up to speed, especially with the 4 brand new scenery themes we have incoming. On top of the 5 from the first game, that's 9 thematic sets of props featuring architecture from around the world to build our parks around. Now, in full disclosure, we should know by now that just because a trailer is created in-engine doesn't necessarily mean it will look exactly like that once we get our hands on it. However, even if we look at the first Planet Zoo announcement trailer and compare it to its in-game, we are 100% getting a great upgrade graphically. With upgraded graphics in store, we get to see this firsthand as we build the ultimate zoo, creativity and zoo management. As is expected in any Frontier Planet game, we're going to have access to a lot of assets and resources to design our zoo. From pre-built designs across these 9 themes I mentioned, to custom assets in the same, with easy-to-use pathing systems that will hopefully be expanded beyond the first game, I have no doubt that the only limit is going to be our own creativity. And even that can be solved by what looks like Day 1 Frontier Workshop access to download things that the community ends up making. What has me most eager to explore, however, is the foliage and terrain brushes. Now, admittedly, I have yet to play Jurassic World Evolution 3, and thus am unsure exactly how that brush operates. But if I had to pick a game where this works seamlessly, it would actually be Prehistoric Kingdom, where you can multi-select foliage that then gets painted with the brush and works dang near perfectly. My hope is that it would be a highly customizable mechanic, that would allow us to precisely control what we want, and a great aid for both our land and water exhibits with a specific focus on seafloor coverage. That's not all that goes into a well-operating zoo. If it's going to be anything like Planet Coaster 2, we'll be able to zone out areas of our zoos for specific staff, provide buildings that support them, and provide ways to enhance their current skill set and provide a healthier work environment. That's crucially important, especially as we take a look at how conservation goes further. Nurture, release, and conserve. Planet Zoo went a long way to push conservation efforts in its first game. Planet Zoo 2 pushes that beyond anything expected in the best of ways, starting with wildlife reserves. Wildlife reserves are a living, breathing, and customizable extension of your parks, meaning we can design the exact type of wildlife reserve we want to release our conservation programs into and conduct research in to improve our zoos. What other features reserves will have is of course to be seen, but what it does mean is we have the opportunity to flex our creativity even further to make what we want, rather than sending animals to some abstract form of conservation and use them to further our own zoos, which can lead to full circle improvements in all areas of the game. On top of that, both zoos and wildlife reserves will be interconnected, meaning a conservation network between your playthroughs. Again, not entirely sure what that means, but I imagine you may have a single wildlife reserve for each zoo, and thus you would want to create more zoos to create more wildlife reserves, sending animals across multiple wildlife reserve biomes. If so, it's a great incentive to work on and specialize with multiple zoos, and provides a great sense of replayability from Frontier standpoint. You'll be able to flex those conservation muscles in different areas as we talk about game modes: career, sandbox, and franchise. This shouldn't really come as a surprise to anybody, but you'll have 3 options to play the game: career, sandbox, and franchise modes. Career mode will see you join the Fauna and Ecosystems Network as you manage multiple zoos and wildlife reserves across the globe in a grand expedition. Think of it as your typical campaign full of objectives and challenges for each zoo along the way. Sandbox is exactly that, a place of unlimited creativity that will allow you to build the zoo of your dreams with no hooks or objectives. Lastly, franchise mode, and this one appears to have a bit of a twist. In franchise mode, you'll build a global network of zoos and wildlife reserves, much like in career mode. The twist is that each zoo and wildlife reserve shares its progression, its research, and more, meaning there will definitely be incentives to look at older zoos or reserves, make adjustments where necessary, and continue the cycle across the globe as you dive deeper and deeper into the franchise. 3 modes, unlimited potential. Planet Zoo 2 already looks amazing, and we'll definitely be hearing more about it as we approach the October release date. Let me know what you think about Planet Zoo 2 by leaving a comment down below, and be sure to subscribe to the channel for more videos like this one. Thanks for watching. This is Havoc, and I'll see you in the next one.